So as you saw in the video, Tamar did mention that she's not going to put it out. I think a lot of people thought she was kidding. Well, in the comment section, she said, "Y'all won. There is no more album, and I'm going to my farm, and you will never hear from me again. I'm sorry for everything."
The night Tamar Braxton shocked fans by canceling her new album. The internet thought the drama was over. But when Funky Dineva accused Tamar Braxton of faking her accident, everything changed. Tamar Braxton fired back with hospital records warning that the next accusation would end in a lawsuit. Funky Dineva doubled down, mocking every word, daring Tamar Braxton to take him to court. Now the word defamation hangs like a gavel above both their names. And the world wants to know, will this battle stay on Instagram or explode into a real courtroom war?
What's the drama that I did? Somebody gotta tell me. What is the drama? Tell me, what is the drama? What is the drama? All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. And I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared and I was alone and I was in pain.
War in true Tamar Braxton form. Nothing about this saga has been quiet, clean, or simple. The week began with whispers that Tamar Braxton was preparing to release a brand new project. Her long-awaited return to music, and the internet buzzed with excitement. But in a shocking twist, Tamar Braxton stunned everyone by declaring that the album was cancelled, gone before it even had a chance to breathe. And not just that, Tamar Braxton vowed to step away from the public eye altogether for her fans. It was a heartbreaking announcement. For her critics, it was just another chapter in the never-ending drama that follows Tamar Braxton wherever she goes. But for those watching closely, it was clear that this decision wasn't just about music. It was about the war between Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva, a feud that has spilled across timelines, gossip blogs, and live streams, with both reputations hanging in the balance.
The war between Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva has been reignited. No, this is not deja vu. The beef is on again, with Funky taking to social media to slam Tamar for subliminally shading him on social media. Not only that, the doctor that helped fix Tamar's teeth is now revealing that she did not have a seizure or a stroke. We are getting into what exactly happened to Tamar Braxton when she revealed that she almost died.
The way Tamar Braxton framed it, she was exhausted. Exhausted from the speculation, exhausted from the accusations, and exhausted from constantly being painted as the villain in her own story on social media. Tamar Braxton declared, "Y'all won. There is no more album. I'm going to my farm. And you'll never hear from me again. I'm sorry for everything," for her most loyal supporters. The words hit like a funeral bell. No more album meant no more comeback. No more public appearances meant no more drama to watch unfold on stage. Only the chaos that already lingered online. For the critics, though, it was confirmation of what they had been saying all along, that Tamar Braxton thrives on drama, that every crisis becomes content, and that her career is more about spectacle than stability.
That would just clear the air. Let people know I didn't do nothing to you. Not that I honestly think any reasonable person thought that I did something to you anyway, but still. And then in the midst of your recovery, you gonna drop the music video to further make it look like all of this was a stunt. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not participating in that.
But why did Tamar Braxton cancel her project? The answer lies in the messy feud with Funky Dineva that has consumed both of their platforms. The fight began when Funky Dineva, known for his unfiltered commentary and shade-filled reviews, accused Tamar Braxton of faking or exaggerating her recent accident, according to Funky Dineva. The bloody hospital photo, the claims of fractured bones and missing teeth, the teary captions, all of it looked less like tragedy and more like rollout. In his eyes, Tamar Braxton wasn't a victim, she was a strategist, using sympathy to fuel streams. It was the kind of claim that cuts deeper than any insult. Because it didn't just mock Tamar Braxton's pain, it questioned her integrity, her honesty, and her very brand as an artist. When Tamar Braxton heard Funky Dineva's accusations, she went live, broken and angry, with tears streaming down her face. Tamar Braxton told her side, "All I know is I went to bed and I woke up and my life changed. I probably shouldn't have said nothing, but I panicked because I was scared, I was alone, and I was in pain." For Tamar Braxton, posting that hospital photo wasn't a rollout, it was a cry for help. But in the unforgiving world of social media, where shade is currency and sympathy is fleeting, Her confession only fueled the flames. Critics, including Funky Dineva, dissected every word, every bruise, every missing tooth, and insisted that something about her story didn't add up. The more Tamar Braxton defended herself, the more the whispers grew. How could someone who claimed to be bedridden suddenly appear glammed up in videos, moving like nothing had happened? How could someone claim to have been hospitalized for 5 days but post subliminals and engage with fans online? And why, if she was truly desperate for help, did Tamar Braxton turn to Instagram before turning to her sisters, her mother, or her closest friends? These were the questions Funky Dineva pushed forward, and the internet eagerly repeated them. The feud grew nastier when Tamar Braxton reminded Funky Dineva of their history, pointing out that she had paid for his birthday party. In her eyes, that proved she was a real friend, someone who supported him in the past. But Funky Dineva fired back with venom, insisting that she didn't pay for anything, that the sparklers and the signs proved it was her event, not his. In his words, Tamar Braxton was desperate for credit, desperate for validation, desperate to be seen as generous. And then came the mockery, the cruelest part of all, the memes, the hashtags, the jokes about toothless Muppets and snaggletooth stunts. For Tamar Braxton, the pain wasn't just physical anymore, it was emotional. Her accident had become a punchline, her image a meme. And while she fired back with heartbreaking honesty, "I have teeth, but I can't chew." Can you imagine how that feels? The damage had already been done. Her brand, her reputation, her dignity were unraveling in real time. That's when Tamar Braxton made the decision enough was enough. She wouldn't give the world another album to mock, another project to call a stunt, another reason for Funky Dineva to tear her down. Canceling her project wasn't just a career move, it was her way of reclaiming control, of slamming the door shut on the chaos. But even in her cancellation, the drama didn't stop. Fans immediately split into camps. Some begged Tamar Braxton to reconsider, flooding her comments with love and prayers. Others mocked her, saying she would be back in the spotlight within weeks, because Tamar Braxton was addicted to attention. And in the middle of it all was Funky Dineva, smirking through his commentary, reminding the world that he wasn't backing down for him. Tamar Braxton's cancellation was just another plot twist in a saga that he was determined to expose. The industry watched closely. Other celebrities, reality stars, and bloggers whispered behind the scenes, wondering if Tamar Braxton was truly done or if this was just another dramatic pause in a career built on cliffhangers. Her sisters, her mother, her family, all of them must have been exhausted, wondering how many more times they would have to watch Tamar Braxton implode in public. And yet, for all the exhaustion, the world couldn't look away, because the truth is, Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva together are combustible. Both attract drama, both live online, both know how to use shade as a weapon. And when two people like that collide, the fallout is never small, it's explosive, it's viral, and it's unforgettable. That's why the cancellation of Tamar Braxton's album doesn't feel like the end, it feels like the beginning of something even darker. Because if Tamar Braxton is serious about stepping away, she's leaving a void. And in that void, voices like Funky Dineva's will only grow louder, shaping the narrative in ways that could haunt her forever. So where does this leave us? With Tamar Braxton retreating, canceling, and apologizing, with Funky Dineva sharpening his commentary, daring her to come back, daring her to take him to court. With fans split, blogs buzzing, and the internet on fire, the album may be gone. But the drama is far from over. In fact, it's only just begun. But Funky Dineva was never the type to back down. While Tamar Braxton went live crying, pleading, and insisting that her accident was real, Funky Dineva doubled down with his words like a lawyer sharpening his cross-examination. Funky Dineva reminded the world that he had been dragged into this mess without consent. That while Tamar Braxton posted hospital photos and emotional captions, the internet had turned him into the villain, and according to Funky Dineva, Tamar Braxton allowed it. Funky Dineva told his followers that Tamar Braxton had her phone the entire time she was in the hospital. He claimed that Tamar Braxton was posting Instagram stories, replying to texts, and engaging with fans while conspiracy theories exploded online. Conspiracy theories that pointed fingers at him. To Funky Dineva, that silence was not the silence of fear. To Funky Dineva, it was betrayal. She knew since Wednesday, Funky Dineva said, that people were accusing me. She could have cleared my name, but she didn't. For Funky Dineva, that was enough to declare war. And when Funky Dineva declared war, he didn't hold back. He set rules, not suggestions, rules of engagement. According to Funky Dineva, if Tamar Braxton posted subliminals, he would respond. If Tamar Braxton shared sermons that could be read as shade, he would clap back. If Tamar Braxton even hinted at his name, he would drag her publicly, relentlessly, brutally. This wasn't just shade anymore. This was an unwritten contract, binding both Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva to a war that neither seemed willing to end. The internet became the courtroom, Instagram lives turned into testimonies, YouTube breakdowns became exhibits, screenshots, captions, and memes became evidence. And Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva became both witnesses and prosecutors, tearing each other apart in front of millions. Tamar Braxton fired back by producing her own receipts, hospital bills, restaurant charges from that night, 5 days of medical records. With trembling hands and cracking voice, Tamar Braxton told the world, "Next time I'm called a liar, it will come with a lawsuit." The word lawsuit carried weight, but when she paired it with defamation, it shook the internet to its core. Tamar Braxton wasn't just asking for sympathy anymore. Tamar Braxton was threatening to drag Funky Dineva into an actual courtroom. But Funky Dineva laughed, Funky Dineva mocked. Funky Dineva fired back with his own arsenal of receipts. He reminded everyone about the birthday party argument. He posted pictures of sparklers and signs mocking Tamar Braxton's claim that she paid for his celebration. "You didn't pay anything for me," Funky Dineva snapped, painting Tamar Braxton as someone desperate for credit, desperate for validation. And when Tamar Braxton claimed she was bedridden, Funky Dineva pulled out his sharpest shade yet. "If that's true, then I'm Britney Spears." The memes intensified, Snaggletooth Muppet trended. Pool of blood jokes went viral, hashtag split the internet in two. Hashtag Team Tamar painted her as a victim of bullying, a woman mocked for her pain. Hashtag Team Funky framed him as the truth teller, a man standing his ground against manipulation. And every time Tamar Braxton posted something emotional, Funky Dineva turned it into comedy. Every time Funky Dineva shaded her, Tamar Braxton cried out that this wasn't shade anymore, this was defamation. And here's the thing about defamation, it isn't just a word for social media. It's a legal weapon. For Tamar Braxton, the stakes were clear. If brands, producers, or networks began to believe Funky Dineva's accusations, her career could collapse. For Funky Dineva, the risk was just as high. If Tamar Braxton filed, he would have to prove his words were true, or at least protected opinion, in a real courtroom. Likes and shares don't count, only facts do. Fans began to speculate what a courtroom battle would even look like. Would Tamar Braxton march in with her hospital records, her missing teeth documented, her 5-day stay as Exhibit A? Would Funky Dineva play clips of her lives, pointing to contradictions, showing how her behavior looked more like performance than tragedy? Would lawyers subpoena text messages, dragging private conversations into the light? The very idea electrified the internet. But beyond the legal jargon, what made this feud cut so deep was the intimacy of it. Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva weren't strangers, they were once friends. They once celebrated birthdays together, once shared private jokes, once exchanged late-night messages, and now, those same memories were being weaponized, receipts blasted. Online, laughter replaced with cruelty. The betrayal was personal, and because it was personal, it was messy. Tamar Braxton stood on live, broken, confessing, "I might have teeth, but I can't chew." Can you imagine how that feels? Her voice cracked, her pain obvious. But Funky Dineva refused to show mercy. Funky Dineva didn't just defend himself, he ridiculed her, mocked her, and made her pain into entertainment. For Tamar Braxton, that wasn't commentary, that was character assassination, and so the line was drawn. Tamar Braxton framed herself as both a victim of an accident and of online bullying. Funky Dineva framed himself as a scapegoat, dragged into a narrative he didn't create. Both sides claimed righteousness, both sides claimed truth, and the word defamation hovered above them like a gavel about to drop. The fans, meanwhile, acted as the loudest jury in history. Comment sections turned into cross-examinations. Twitter threads turned into closing arguments. YouTubers became expert witnesses, dissecting Tamar Braxton's bruises, analyzing Funky Dineva's tone, comparing receipts like lawyers comparing evidence. And while no official verdict was ever reached, reputations on both sides suffered. But even as the war raged online, the irony was undeniable. Both Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva claimed they wanted peace. Tamar Braxton begged, "Please leave me alone, please." Funky Dineva demanded silence, "Don't post subliminals," yet neither stopped. Neither could resist the urge to post, to clap back, to prove their side, and with each post, the possibility of a real lawsuit grew closer, because lawsuits aren't just about law, they're about exposure. If Tamar Braxton files, Funky Dineva could demand her medical files, her texts, her contracts, her behind-the-scenes conversations. If Funky Dineva fights back, Tamar Braxton could demand his communications, his intentions, his content archives. A courtroom wouldn't just see a feud, it would see everything. And for two public figures who thrive on secrets and shade, that kind of exposure could be devastating. Still, Tamar Braxton showed no signs of backing down. The next time I'm called a liar, it will come with a lawsuit. For her, it wasn't just about dignity anymore, it was about survival. Meanwhile, Funky Dineva leaned into the chaos, making video after video, mocking her accident, weaponizing her silence, insisting he was telling the truth. For him, this wasn't bullying. This was defense. And so the question remains, who will blink first? Will Tamar Braxton file, dragging Funky Dineva into a real courtroom? Or will Funky Dineva continue to dare her, confident that she won't risk the exposure of discovery? One thing is certain, this isn't just another love and hip-hop style feud. This is bigger, this is precedent. If Tamar Braxton wins, she reclaims her name and sets an example that could silence bloggers everywhere. If Funky Dineva wins, he proves that commentary, no matter how cruel, is untouchable. Until then, Instagram remains the witness stand, YouTube remains the courtroom, and the fans remain the jury, watching every post, every tear, every clapback. What began as a hospital photo has spiraled into a full-scale war of reputations, and now, all eyes are on Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva, waiting for the gavel to drop.